Welcome to the Gears and Beers podcast, featuring your favorite One Life to Play Gears players. We got the main man Potato Aim over here. Got the big man over there, big man coach.
Just the
JBB
coach.
Good over there, rocking the bands for the Rich Life 2020. All right, so first talking point that we got.
Who are you? You didn't even say
Right,
who you
Who's
are.
introducing me
you
though?
didn't
Why am I?
introduce yourself?
Well, why do I got to
Slow down.
introduce myself?
So you want me to introduce you as the manager, the team captain,
I don't know. How do you see me?
the man, the myth, the legend, Akellz as the team captain and manager?
Okay, that's good enough. Well, we wanted to make this podcast to start for the community to really kind of start talking about what needs to be addressed by TC, what we feel like should be addressed by TC. And with that, I want to start off the first bullet point with some weapon tuning. You know, obviously, let's start off with the loadout before we go into power weapons or anything more.
You guys want to talk about a little about what you guys have been playing, how long you guys been a team, before you get into the meat of it, so you can get some people in here first. You know, you guys want to go over that, or you just drop it? Just want to drop it.
Obviously,
Start it from the
we're
top.
here with One Life to Play. You can tell. Check out awesome merch, hats, jerseys, everything. We're here with One Life to Play, and we've been playing together as a collective unit for about how long would you think that we've been together?
We started in Us three together was in January, and we kind of been trying to find a full team. We got a 4. Shout out to Ty. And then we've been that whole time trying to get a coach and a starting 5 and a backup. Now, as far as getting a coach, starting 5, backup, it's been about 2 months now.
Yeah, I'd say about 2-3 months.
For competitive play like that. So we've been playing competitively because there was a good time in the dark that we really weren't playing competitively, and we really weren't like playing as a collective unit. So we've really kind of rallied together and done a lot together to get to the state that we're in. We're still not a perfect team, but you know, we're still here, we're still competing, we're still trying.
Yeah.
So how'd you guys meet?
It started from the LGS, that One Life to Play through.
LGS number 2 specifically, we started with that.
Yeah.
So we started off with LGS number 2, which if you guys don't know what that is currently last year standing, which is
We got Sosa in the chat.
Last year's standing is the LAN event that we host, which is a 1v1 execution tournament here at our esports and gaming lounge over here in Parma, Ohio. If anybody's interested in it, please follow us on Twitter at One Life to Play GG and One Life to Play for any information on the esports team and the lounge itself. But we've been a collective unit for about a good 3 months of a full team. Shout out to Sosa, Ty, Juice, and Kakarot, which is, you know, our player that filled in for us that kind of kicked off this whole competitive scene of us and everything like that. It really, really just kind of grew once we went down to the Microsoft Store events. And we just love playing at a high level together. Obviously, we love to play together and everything. We have a lot of fun, obviously. What else do you guys want to add?
I mean, if we want to go starting it from the beginning, you know, we got JB. Yeah, LGS1 over here with JB, actually our coach, taking that and still a little bit
Let's get
salty
a
about
zoom in
that.
on his medal from that over there.
This is the trophy from LGS 1 that I won. And then
Look at how dirty that is.
LGS 2, I won this. And that's kind of how it's formed. I talked to Brass, and he was like, let's try to get a team together. You know, I said, hey, we can do it. We can get some more players. So you just keep hosting LGS tournaments, more people show up. And then when the one started in Gears 5, it's like, yo, we got 3. We kind of had a 5, you know, but us 3, me, Kells, and Tato was the core 3. We said, we're going to take it full serious, full send. Let's try to search and recruit and play. Let's go.
And that's really where it went. You know, we did take it seriously, and obviously we lost JB as a player, you know, in the last 2 months, but he's probably going to be a great coach. I mean, I wouldn't have anybody else that's a different kind of coach. He's already at the highest peak of his play level, so it's only fair that he would be able to teach us how to play as good as he does.
That's true. I've learned a lot from JB. Our 1v1s, me taking second to him in the LGS, you know, fight my way at a loser's bracket again to face him. I mean, I've learned a lot from him, and he's definitely an excellent coach.
I'm always down to give information, knowledge. Nobody knows everything. And I will say this, there would be a shame of me holding my knowledge to them because there's somebody else that has greater knowledge than me. You know, I'm not going to sit there and go to a tournament and be like, somebody's going to know something that I don't. They do. So I'm just going to share my knowledge with them, help them get better because honestly, I think they all have better skill, mechanical movement, gun skill, all that, more than me. It's just now we try to get them on better decision makings, heat of the moment type stuff. Because when you play at a high level, things start operating different. People start doing different stuff. So now I'm trying to break down each and every specific move down to them that when they get into those high pressure situations, it's a cakewalk for them. So that's all I'm doing as a coach.
JB, go move your mic closer to you.
Just a
They
tad
said
bit.
that they can't hear you.
Go ahead, mic check, JB.
Mic check, 1 2 4 1 2 4.
We good. We got better audio for him. So where do you want to go? Like, because I know we did the Microsoft tournaments, you know, and that's kind of where we picked up CAC and brought him into the team. And
That was
what did
down
we
in
do?
Cincy.
Cincinnati.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cincinnati was the main one.
that
the
was
big one.
that was a nice, fun little road trip. Took that down. Would we take first the first time we went down there?
Yep, took first on the
Yes.
first one.
Yeah, that was nice. And then the second time we went
The
down
second
there.
one was spicy.
Oh, dude. Yeah, we took the first match. We won the first match, and then wasn't too sure what team we played against at that point because they really didn't give us names. I mean, in my opinion, it could have been just a tad bit little better organized in how they did things. But huge shout out to Microsoft for holding those LAN events because that was definitely fun. And then they did mention about talking about bringing them closer to us too. So it was definitely a good thing, probably moving them to Beechwood instead of having to drive it all the way out to Cincinnati. And then we picked up CAC from there, and then it was just onwards, dude. Full blown power. We were trying to get our competitive play together and work together. We did have a fifth at that one point, Scruffy. Well, we were trying to get Scruffy in there, but he kind of ended up falling off, so really didn't have much with him.
But here
man.
we are now.
Yeah, there we are.
Yeah.
All together
Competed
now.
in PGLs, tournaments, numerous tournaments.
Yeah, got a tournament tomorrow. Shout out to Pink Nasher for hosting that 2v2 Koth tournament.
That's gonna
Very
be
excited to be in that. Very excited to be in that. We
Hive
got
Clash. Don't
Hive
forget to
Clash.
mention Hive
Yeah,
Clash for
we
sure.
we are hosting Hive Clash here. If anybody wants to know about information about that, it is a online league where we can play together, and you can postpone your matches if you can't make it. You can forfeit your matches if you can't make it, and it's all run on the amazing Mission Control app. The app itself is awesome. It's amazing. So the app itself, if you look at your screen here, if you go to the One Life to Play rec, if you go to the app on the App Store, Mission Control GG app is where it starts with. Then you search One Life to Play rec, which is your remote esports league, or I forget what it's called, circuit. There you go, remote esports circuit. If you go to there and search us up, you can find Gears 5 Hive Clash with a whole other plethora of, leagues and everything like that. They're weekly, they are, seasonal, and they have cash prizes and everything. The entry fee for Gears 5 Hive Clash is free too. A big difference from all the other leagues.
Free? For free?
He said free 99.
Next one is going to be $10 though, but the first one was free. I am the champion of that one. So
How's it going, Ty? Tato and Kels might be beautiful, but I'm ugly.
oh man,
I don't know
We
about
got
all
the
that.
One Life to Play crew in the chat. Shout out to Sosa, Ty, and Juice.
Appreciate all the boys out there tuning in with us. Even though you can't actually be here with us at the moment, but we know you're always there in spirit.
yeah, we picked up a couple of players after recruiting online. I met Tyler, who is Ty. I met him through Nerve. Shout out to Nerve on Twitch. Look him up on twitch.tv/NerveBTW. Met him through Nerve, and we played together for about 2 months. And then he was asking about how it was going to go with the esports team and if he was going to be able to make it. And I got him a tryout, and instantly melded well with the team. And he's been the most dedicated player out of any of us, really.
I'd
Gave
say,
him front spawn.
Yeah,
front
he is the
spawn.
front spawn. He's the top slayer on the team. You know, we picked him up, and I'm very glad to have him.
And he jumped in with us for the Microsoft tournaments.
Yeah,
And
it
it
drove
was kind
6
of
hours.
A little bit of a last minute thing too, but that just went to go and show Ty's dedication right off the rip, you know. And then for him coming in and playing in practice with us, the chemistry just right off the rip was great.
Yeah, then. So we had a little bit of an alliance with another team called MSG for about
Major Slayer Gaming.
Mhm.
we for about how long did we do that? About 3 months. We played
Close
them.
to it.
We did weekly scrims with them and everything like that, and they were a great team. We had a good rivalry going and everything with them, but the biggest thing is that
We never had a fifth. We were subbing.
we were subbing, picking up free
Every other
agents. We
match.
were trying to play. Then we eventually got a fifth, and that fifth went MIA, just completely disappeared itself, and we had to search for another one again. So there we are, the core four of us, you know, me, Tato, JB, and Ty, and we're trying to search for a new player, and, you know, things came together, and
We'll get into what we're going to be getting into next. The reason why I kind of stepped back as a coach, what we're going to be talking about: weapon tuning, movement tuning, content, and esports. And it just kind of, we were going back and forth. Like, we would play, and then they would come in a party afterwards, and we would discuss what we did right, what we did wrong,
Mhm.
to help better each other.
It was definitely good bouncing off the information, you know, getting together in the party, you know, doing the chalk talks after, you know, it's like, hey, what can we improve on? What needed to be done? Could I cross here? You know, I could have done this better. And it definitely, you know, will help. I mean, because it lets you step back for a moment. It's like, okay, the game's over. All right, now let's get cool, calm, collective, and think about, you know, what happened. You know, what are some of the things that could have been improved on? You know, what did you do right? What didn't you not do? And that was very helpful with MSG, you know, Juice. Big shout out to Juice, because I know he was out there, you know, always orchestrating the things, kept everything punctual, on time. It was definitely good. Professionally, yeah, you know. And it literally was at the point is where, you know, they won matches, we won matches, but it wasn't at a point to where we were getting tired or felt like it wasn't of value to us. It's because we were always learning something from them. And they were learning something from us too. So it was kind of just like a back and forth exchange, which was amazing.
So what brings us here tonight?
Well, I kind of had the idea of doing a podcast to kind of do this for the community itself. I really, really wanted to just talk about the main core issues that we see within TC and what can be improved on. Another bullet point that I would like to add is people leaving TC. The biggest thing that I really, really can put to that is, you know, this game was a failure. You know, in the eyes of the diehard fans, you know, there's 3 of us here that are diehard fans. We've been playing for 13 years, and it's just, we really, really just want to, you know, talk about what can be improved and try to hope TC can, you know, be in the listening chair. Shout out to Sinos in the chat. Shout out to Sinos. He's the co-owner. Well, he is the owner. I got moved into the owner spot of the competitive Discord chat for Gears 5. If you guys aren't in that, go ahead and check it out on Twitter. But let's get into the first topic, which is weapon tuning. We're going to discuss the loadout and then what needs to be done about the power weapons second. So I'm going to start off with the Lancer.
Okay.
40 rounds is entirely too much. Like, people are like, well, the Lancer's fixed and everything like that with the Bloom. Personally, taking away the active damage, taking away the damage itself, from reducing the damage itself on the base Lancer, and then, giving it more Bloom, honestly didn't really do much to me. Everybody still thinks it's super powerful. It just misses a little bit of extra shots, maybe like 1 or 2. But you have 40 rounds in the clip, so you've got 10 extra rounds to fix a mistake if you miss a couple of rounds. That's why it's crazy,
50 rounds if you consider a 5-stack.
True.
Yeah.
But when you think about the Lancer, it's a support weapon. Gears of War 1, I know it's said before by numerous people in the community, Gears of War 1 was the strongest Lancer in all of Gears of War. But it had damage drop off, so it was a pure support weapon. Making it miss more shots doesn't do anything to it. Doesn't do anything to it more than just, I don't know, put more Bloom on it to make people think that it's less powerful. Personally, what I think it needs to do is it needs a slight buff to its damage. No buff to its damage at all on actives. The actives are fine, just speed, increase in speed of fire, of rate of fire. Then we have the issue with the clip. I think the clip needs to go back to 30 rounds. 30 rounds is perfect. And then once everything is all set and done, I think we have a good balanced Nasher. The Bloom could get drawn back, but I'm not complaining about it.
Like I said, for one person using a Lancer, the damage is low. You would think it's low. But you got to remember, if 5 people, even 3 people are focusing a target, that's a lot of damage being put out. And I understand you don't want to nerf it to oblivion because you got people head down on you. You're trying to focus fire. It's just... The thing when the Lancer first came out, people thought it was so powerful. It really wasn't that powerful. It was more powerful, but people were slower. The movement, which we'll be getting on next, was hunkered down. You were slower. Your animation speed, your character speed was all slower. I think the biggest problem isn't really damage, it's latency and delay. You think about how many times you're here and you move over here, you're still getting shot. I think that's the biggest problem with the game, which we'll touch that even if you balance weapon and movement and all that, having a delay, because one thing that will really piss people off is thinking you're somewhere else and you get killed. You thought you moved out of this. I can think of a time I was just playing a couple days ago. I go in, he's holding this elevated spot on All Fathers in the arena in the middle where you go up to the nades and it's got the ramp. He's holding the spot, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go in, I'm going to go short, and then go wide. So when I went short, I went wide, I hit the cover. I'm in this side of the cover, but then he hits me flush middle, even though I'm over here. So it's no matter what you fix, I think that'll always be the main problem. And
I agree with that. Like the latency and everything. I'll tell you, I played Gears 5 on a PC, and it is a night and day difference. Like, I had to stop playing it on the PC because if I would have played it anymore, then I would want to go back to Xbox.
the dark side.
Yeah, go back to the X. I wouldn't do it. And, as you mentioned, like the latency and everything on it, I felt like a god on the PC with a Lancer. It was insane because it was literally, there was no latency. All the characters were literally lined up within my shots, and to have that accuracy and everything, it was just insane. I felt like I was activating cheat codes or something.
So, yeah. Well, there's a clear difference.
Well, my thing is I hate the state of the game because, in my opinion, whenever I play, I get head down constantly. I'll Lancer somebody from when they're, say, like they're at the end of the room on like exhibit in the middle, and I'll Lancer them, and they'll come in straight to me, and they'll somehow dodge out of the way, bouncing crazy and everything, and then they'll end up head downing me and get the chunk. And then I'm like, 92 in 9 is far too less. You know, I know you're supposed to get 100% in 11, but it's just, I personally think that they need to maybe buff the damage slightly, not by like a huge amount, but slightly, so that you can possibly get something like that.
If they buff the damage, you said they have to reduce the clip. Okay, so what about this? I would think instead of buffing the damage, what if they decrease the bloom slightly and take like 5 bullets out the clip?
That could possibly work. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I mean, you got to keep it at some point to where you can't have a Lancer overpowering a Nasher and like all that it's
Weapon
definitely
balance.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
to go back to what you're saying about head downing, because there's also so much delay, they're going straight towards you. You don't know where they're at. You don't know what you're shooting. Ghost bullets. There'd be times where you'll shoot somebody, you see bullets on their body, but they're doing no damage. Or you'll be shooting people, and you'll see blood a foot behind their body, or to the side or something. It's weird. But you have this overpowered Lancer with an inconsistent shotgun. Now, is the shotgun inconsistent because of the damage? Is it the pellets? Is it where the shots come out?
The bullet
Or is it the
magnetism,
Aim
there's
assist,
aim
of course.
assist.
See, that
bullet
there's a perfect
magnetism.
example of where to go with on the Nasher. There's too many times where I'll put one shot into somebody and then shoot again, and then I'll see the bullets inside of them, like the heated bullets. They're lit up inside of their bodies, and it just tells me no damage, and I get downed and killed. I heard from the community that they're called ghost shots. I hate that so much.
And
If it's the servers, if it's the delay, whatever it is, I want it. I want that fixed.
what was it? The one update that they did they mention the ghost shots was related to magnetism? The bullet magnetism?
I think so. The biggest thing for me with the shotgun is the chunk range does need increased. It does need increased by at least a half a step.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I can't agree on that one.
I'm an old school Gears 1 fan. A Gears player, I started, and everybody knew that chunk range was like 6 inches. That chunk range was like 6 inches. So
He ain't lying.
before you would get into this intimate dance of 2 feet of poking in and out of chunk range, taking this damage, take a shot to give a shot. Now you get into these shotgun battles where people are 3-4 feet apart. They close in to like 2.5 feet and chunk you. Or I don't know if it's the chunk range or if it's delay, because there'll be some times where you'll be 4 feet away and get chunked. Now, I am an avid believer of getting killed at a far range if it is a headshot. If you headshot somebody with a shotgun, they should die. But it shouldn't. But if you hit them in the body, then they shouldn't die. So I don't know. That's just the old vet Gears in me. I'm willing to compromise. Like I've said, I don't think a melee should be 51%. I would go with 15, but I will settle for 33. Literally.
My biggest thing with the Nasher is, JB has said it multiple times, is whenever you are up close, the damn thing turns into a slug rifle. And it just completely shoots so compactedly made with the spread that it's not a shotgun anymore. It's basically a slug
Rifle.
And I hate that because it happens too many times where I'll miss or something like that, and it's a
You shoot
shotgun.
through their armpit next to their elbow.
I don't know how you have to be perfectly precise for that, but I mean, he's right. You're shooting through somebody's armpit or something.
I understand why they did it, to make it that precise. To mean you have to be accurate, but then you have to take an effect that even if you take the delay out the game, you got connection, ping, lag, latency within an online tournament. or not tournament, just online play.
Mhm.
So you can be 100% accurate on your side, but not on their side or where the server is catching it. So having that slug rifle hit and that extra 1% where even though you hit 100% on your side, it might have been 99 on the server, you're going to miss that. It's going to go right here in this area here, and you're just going to be upset. That's why I feel like as far as the Nasher, they should increase the pellet, at least be consistent to a certain range instead of having this slug rifle. But it all goes to why, like I said, they want you to engage shotgun battles from a far distance, because that's where the shotgun is the most consistent, from like 2 to 3 feet. The shotgun stays there. The pellets are perfectly spread, and then you have this chunk range, which is kind of inconsistent, if you tell me. It just, I think that's the biggest thing with the shotgun. I know people want their 8 shots. I want my 8 shots. I'll settle for 8 shots, and you can not have active reload power boost. I don't care. Just give me 8 shots back. There's so many fights.
They said something about that in the last what you call it?
Developer stream?
Developer stream.
Yeah.
Thank you. I didn't have that for a second, but they said something about that in the last developer stream where they were thinking that 8 shots should be in the game, but they were just like, "No, we don't know," and something like that. And I was just like, you know, I don't care about not having an active reload. Bringing back the reload, the full clip instead of just 3 rounds was perfect. That was great because
Thank
now you don't have to,
Lord.
reload 4 times in a row to get a full clip. But do you mind scrolling up in chat real quick? I wanted to get a couple things out of chat real quick.
I think Sinos
so-
made a good point there.
Cack Riot said that, I don't know, with aim assist, it feels like a sawed-off shotgun. It's a weird double-edged sword. Aim assist is... So I've learned this. So if you play with your aim assist off or on comp tuning with Gears 4, if you play with your aim assist off...
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
If you play with your aim assist off, I heard that there is absolutely no magnetism for you. Only when you get to a certain range at a certain time with the shotgun. Now, with you have it on, you have magnetism at an increased range, and your camera slows down. So that means that if you want to just flick, and turn really fast, like how some people do, it's basically an instant kill because it slows your screen down, and people can tell when that happens.
You're locking on target. And
Yeah.
I can vouch for that. For when I was competing as a player, I turned off my aim assist, hit markers were off, down notifications and kill notifications. Everything that helped me do better and notified in a battle, I turned off. When I turned it back on, I was noticing a huge difference on my shots when I shoot. I turned it off. All I gotta do is shoot near the person. And it's like I'm hitting these shots ridiculously. And when I play with it off, I miss the shots. But then when I play with it off consistently and constantly, I start hitting those shots again. So I'm gonna a point that I want to save towards the end. Well, we're gonna get into content esports. We might as well. They make the game for people who are not that good at the game. They don't have a high skill. They make it for people who miss shots, don't know how to dodge shots. So they get these kills with this boost that the coalition is giving them to earn the kills, and they're not really knowing what's going on. They don't know that they have aim assist going. They don't know that all this stuff that you try to do, reaction shots, all the fancy stuff that sometimes you want to do, they get just for walking, because when you walk, your bloom is perfect. And these type of people, they might play. You got some that play a lot, but most of the part, you only have people that play 2 times a month, 3 times, not that much. They don't play that much. They make the game for those people who don't play that much to make them feel better about playing the game because they have a lower skill, instead of actually playing it or actually making it for the people that played the game hardcore. I want to say, we talk about how bad this game is, but every single one of us grind the game. We put the time in, and it becomes frustrating when it's just constant BS over and over again. You got these wrong things. You know, they go in the right direction, fixing some stuff, and they go back. Akellz made this point where the title update was like, I don't know, 5 or 6 title updates ago.
Five.
It was good, and then they changed it, and then it was bad. And then Akellz said this. They had a free play weekend for Gears 5. A week before they had that free-to-play weekend, it kind of reverted backwards into this more consumer-friendly, low-skilled boost player type of game. And it's just, I don't know. It's very frustrating for people that grind the game, people that have higher skill, and even people of lower skill, because I've had people who are bronze players complain about the same stuff. You know there's something wrong with your game when you got people that's of the lower skill that actually play a lot, and then you got pro players that play a lot, and they're complaining about the same stuff. Some stuff needs to be fixed.
Yeah, and a big thing that needed to be fixed in Gears 4 is still an issue at 5, and Sino's made this point in the chat, says, I feel like the reason Gears is so inconsistent is because of the ping difference between players. And that's a huge issue. It was a big issue in Gears 4. It's a big issue in Gears 5. And if you're playing against somebody that's on at least like 150 to 200 ping, they're going to be eating. And especially if they're playing as a Terminator, they're not going to die.
It's not necessarily the high ping, I would say, because I've played in bad matches with ping. In Gears 3, Gears 1, Gears 2, it's having these different fluctuating pings. Like, if you're in a lobby and everybody's on 350 ping close, yeah, it's going to be different. But you're going to adjust, and everybody's going to be the same. But then when you play, I'll be playing on 1 ping sometimes. I don't know how. But you have somebody at 1, so one person's at 20, this person's at 90, this person's at 150, and this person's at 320. Like, all this, and then you have people playing as multiple different characters, so you're like, oh, well, the freaking Call Gear, he has 190 ping, but then you got 3 Call Gears, or right now 3 Carmines, one's at 50, one's at 20, one's at 350. What are you supposed to do? It's like having these different fluctuating pings within a match, and you're trying to adjust, is difficult. And then when you add in the fact that you got latency and delay that's built within the game, because I think they released the game incomplete, which is the reason why it's also taking them so long, I feel, to actually improve on the game. You don't know if you missed, or if you got outplayed, or if you got BS'd by the game. And that is the biggest reason why I step back, because it isn't that I don't have the skill to play, but when I play at that high level, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I'm getting BS'd or if I'm missing. How am I supposed to learn if I don't know what's going on? If there's so many inconsistencies of the game, because I'll admit, I'm not a good player with my hands and fingers. I rely on my smarts. I've been playing this game for going on 14 years. I know what people want to do. I know what moves they want to make. So when I sit here and get in a fight and I calculate their moves and I set them up to kill them, and then I die, did I miss, or did the game play me out of my kill? And when you play against gold players, onyx players, some diamond, and some of these fake master players out there, because they don't have this good skill, good reaction time, it's kind of balanced. But when you play against high top tier players who are good and consistently good and doing the same thing, it's like this back and forth. Like when we played those people on All Fathers, they were good players. I'll give them that. But then when I get into fights, I don't know if I was missing or if it was the game. Mm-hmm. I get killed, and I know Kakarai can vouch for this. 80% of your kills, you feel like you got BS'd, or they shot you where you weren't, or it was some kind of delay thing going on. And that is, I think the biggest thing they need to focus on is the delay. The ghost shots.
That is a big issue. Couple people in the chat that came in. I saw Mystic Donkey.
Yeah.
Big hello to you, Mystic Donkey. If you have any things that you want to add into it, please add in. We're open to everything. And then Sinos is saying monitors are a huge advantage in Gears.
Definitely.
That is a big thing because if you play on a TV and then compare it to a monitor, obviously consoles can't go anything past 75 hertz. That's 75 hertz is probably the max on it. So I recently just bought a 144 hertz monitor. I'm excited to test it out when it gets here Monday, but when you think about it, it really, really is a big advantage because 1 millisecond, whether it be high refresh hertz or not, 1 millisecond is a huge thing.
Oh, for sure.
Because compared to a TV, it's just insane.
I could vouch for that. I used to play on a TV that had a 60 hertz with 120 hertz upscaled motion.
Terrible.
But yeah, literally. But I have a Asus gaming monitor, G-Sync 144 hertz, 1 millisecond response time. It is a night and day difference.
I can vouch for that too because I had bought a monitor. Shout out to Mr. Double OP. Him and they bought a smart TV, which is not a gaming TV. It's a smart TV. It's got apps installed, all that stuff. And he had a nice little TV down the bottom I used to play on. And then I bought a monitor, a good, nice monitor. And then when I came over to his house for a couple days, I go to play Xbox Gears on there, and it's all different. I can't move. I can't bounce. Everything is so late. It's like it actually kind of made me sick in the head, motion sick to watch because I'm used to pressing this button and doing this at a certain speed, and now it's lagged behind. So now my mind and my hands is in front of the TV screen, ahead of the TV screen, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't do this.
It's the input delay.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is, man. I had a LG 4K TV, and it was a distinguishable, noticeable difference when it comes to the input delay. And exactly how you described it, you press A, and it's just like your character's delayed for a second, and then I'm just like, what's going on? Like, I'm pressing the button, and he ain't moving. It's definitely a huge advantage.
I see Sino says, where's my 1L2P jersey? Go ahead and hit the shop up.
Yeah, we have all types of merch up in the online shop. Sweatshirts, hats, snapbacks, jerseys, T-shirts for
Hoodies.
our players. Hopefully we get some Gears merch
Beanies.
here, possibly in the
Beanies.
future.
Yeah, beanies.
Beanies and sweatbands and everything like that too. Everything's in the shop at 102p.com. Or, onelife2play.com. There it is. If you look on your screen here, then there's the shop itself. Sweatbands, hats, baseball caps, snapbacks, everything.
Is that a 100-bit donation from Mystic Donkey?
Mystic
there?
Donkey donating 100 bits.
Much appreciated. Thanks for stopping
Nice.
in and joining
And
us.
we have a couple of shirts dedicated to some of our players. Shout out to Comatose CW, aka Johnny, the Toxic Tekken player. That's +2 on block, his famous saying, because he always makes sure that every move that he tries to get on block is +2.
Oh, it's actually on sale.
Yeah,
now,
we're
too.
running a big sale right now, quarantine
COVID sale.
Yeah, quarantine sale right
I
now.
hope everybody's staying safe. Got your mask, got your gloves.
For sure. Everyone
Wash
needs to
your
stay
hands.
safe, healthy.
You keep your sanitizer in case, but wash your hands. Double pump, 20 seconds. Come on now.
All right, now let's move in to Mystic Donkey giving away a Tier 1 subscription to the One Life to Play community to Sinos. Thank you so much, Mystic Donkey.
Big shout out.
Hey,
to
and so
Mystic
sorry,
Donkey.
I got to get my alerts on this. I did the new Gears 5 podcast scene collection, and I didn't put alerts on it yet, but I'll get alerts on there. Thanks so much, Mr. Donkey.
Let's move into the snub now, and then we can start talking about specific power weapons. But this is going to be a long section, so let's try and make it a little bit quick because the Nasher is obviously the biggest issue of the loadout.
Definitely.
Snub.
I personally think that the snub is in a good state. They just need to buff the normal damage of it slightly because they reduced it by 10%. I think they just need to bring back that 10% of damage, and then the active is fine, another 10% of damage.
Yeah, I agree with that because if you don't have an active, I could have swore I've hit people with 11 bullets. What's the clip? 12?
Yeah.
And I've hit people with 11,
And downed them.
not downed them.
Well,
Yeah.
you mean all now, but previously.
Previously,
after
you
the update.
could down them before,
Yeah.
but you got to remember is that they locked the trigger fingers out. Now you can have a faster trigger finger in the game and everything. But my biggest issue is that they reduced the damage, and now the snub is basically a very bad version of the Lancer. You're going to hit a number of shots, and if you don't hit every shot in the head for 12 rounds in the clip, you're not going to down them.
Well, I think that's good because it's still a pistol,
It's a support tool.
and you
know?
want to down somebody, you could down them in the whole clip. You got to get a couple headshots, and I
Yeah.
think that's good. I think
That is good, but I still feel that they do need to increase the damage by 10%, back to 10. Increase the damage with that extra 10% more, and then the active has, an extra 10% of damage. Because the Gears 4 snub, you got to admit, that thing was a machine gun if you had a trigger finger.
Yeah, that thing
Especially with
ripped.
the Marxa. Oh, man,
But the
Marxa
thing
from
is, like
Gears
I want
4.
to say, is that if you're in a one-on-one, you got to remember of being it's still 5v5. So even though it has low damage in a one-on-one fight, which is good to put an initial damage to go in for a chunk or a down with a shotgun or something, you got to remember team fights. And what's the damage on team fights? That's how I always think of weapon balance, because you gotta walk this fine line of good damage in a one-on-one type of altercation and a 5v5 type setting. And so if you buff it so much to where it's good in a one-on-one, 5v5, 5 people shooting you with a pistol, OP. So I think, and that's why I think the Lancer, like, it might have some slight adjustments, the pistol, some slight adjustments, but I think it's good because 5 people using it, that's what you got to think
Yeah,
about.
I can agree with you on that. I felt the pistol previous update where you can down in a whole clip without headshots was a little OP. I feel like the pistol right now, in my opinion, is a good state. If you want to get that down, you got to get a couple headshots in there. Get that extra 10% with the active, which is good. But me, in a personal opinion, it's the pistol is a support weapon. Just like you mentioned, if you have 5 people using a pistol, focus firing on one person, it's OP.
Yeah, I don't believe that it does need drastically changed. I can adapt.
Changes here.
I
and
can
there for
adapt
sure.
with it normally now.
And that's the thing. If something doesn't need to be drastically changed, why change it? If it
maybe
just
focus
needs
on
to-
the things that
if
do
it
need
just needs
drastically
a slight
changed.
increase in this or a slight decrease in that, then you just leave it be for now. Focus on bigger things at hand.
There's definitely more things that would need to be updated versus the small things on the pistol for sure.
So, do we want to go back into the Nasher or power weapons?
Power weapons. We've already talked about the Nasher. The only thing that needs to get adjusted on the Nasher that we could probably go back on is the poke damage, but that's a story for another day on another podcast when
Yeah.
we dedicate an entire podcast to the Nasher itself. Let's move into the power weapons, and I'm going to start this one off. The boom shot. That thing sucks.
Lackluster.
That thing sucks.
It
sucks.
It's not a boom shot. It's a boom shot.
Hit it with a little teeny
you
wing.
could the funniest thing, and Cack Riot had this happen to him last night. Cack Riot had a guy shoot the ground right at his feet and kill Cack and not kill himself.
Oh, man.
But then there's times where I'll do that and I'll kill myself and drop one boom shot on the ground. And then there's times where they will be decently far
It's
away
tricky.
or on a
Inconsistent.
staircase, and I'll end up dying.
It would be better if he had a clip of it so that you can probably see the distance, because I'm going to say I do that all the time. I've been using the boom shots since Gears 1. I've learned I can show clips of me shooting a boom shot at my feet, killing the opponent, and me not dying. Now, one big thing is, am I damaged? Am I at 100% health? Because if I am, I could probably eat that boom, especially now that the boom is a little lackluster. It's when you're in the moment and you're playing and then you get upset. I'm not saying that you're wrong, Kakarot, but I'm just saying having video proof of frame by frame, seeing what happened would be nice in that type of situation. But it's still a boom shot. It's a rocket launcher, and yet I've like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. I'll shoot a boom at my feet, planning to kill myself and somebody, but I survived. There have been times where I've shot the boom and killed myself and not the other person.
Mhm.
And I think that came back to me being a little damaged. So
Yeah, I can't really speak on the boom. You guys are the power weapon experts. I really don't pick it up because I have potato aim with it. But the times that I have picked up the boom shot, I definitely, in my opinion, I feel it's inconsistent. Because there's times where I've literally landed a boom shot right next to someone's feet and didn't get a kill, but put 90% damage on them or something like that.
get 92 with a boom.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I feel like it's inconsistent. That's why I don't pick it up. I don't use it.
Kakaraya said it's a nuke with an active, which is true. That's kind of ridiculous. It's like that's where we're at with the coalition. It's like it's lackluster and too
Tie with
much.
the potato nades. We're not gonna get it.
we fixed that. We fixed his tato nades.
Yeah,
They're
potato
okay
nades
now.
are no longer.
They're okay now. I don't think there's really any other power weapons other than the boom shot that really need adjusted, honestly.
Kak said, "Why is there no GL in escalation?"
There's
Rate
no
of
breaker
fire?
mace in
There's no
escalation
breaker mace
either.
Yeah, no breaker mace, no GO.
And I think that comes down to the balancing of the game mode. If you're going to give people too many options, then there's not enough, balance of it. Because there's obviously teams like ours where if we put a GL down, I'm pretty good with the GL. I can get some good pressure on the GL.
It's flurries. If you think about teams that want to set up, not only does it's like a Lancer on steroids with the rate of fire. If you could control that rate of fire, it's ridiculous. Then you got the rocket flurries that break setups easily. It's a little harder to break setups with a boom or a drop. You can do it, but just imagine how easy it would be if you had shooting these 3 rocket flurries. If you cover up their whole setup and they have to break and it's easy, and then you got this Lancer with this high fire rate to clean everything up.
Yep.
So I understand why it's not in there. Because it would kind of be ridiculous.
Kak says it's 3 drops plus a Lancer shooting at 2 times RPM. Yeah, he's not kidding, man. It's the rate of fire on it's pretty ridiculous. And especially if you learn how to control it and hit your shots with it, and you get an active, it's crazy, insane when it comes to the damage output for that bad boy. And then having the 3 rocket flurries, like you said, it's easy to break the setups. Especially if you have such a lockdown setup, and you just aim that GL to where they're going to be landing or whatever, it's a wrap. That's an easy break.
It's easy to predict with because it's got a big range of explosions with it and everything.
And the
So that's why I think that's there. Imagine
especially
having
with
a
lives.
breaker mace and trying to, break setups.
You just run in there, start swinging.
I mean, that thing gives you extra health. So that's
Can
why.
you imagine
And
somebody
imagine
throw some flashbangs and then run in with a breaker mace, and you just
you can kill people through cover. You can kill people through cover. That's why it's not in there, because it can break the stuff.
Broken
down
weapon.
people too.
This is a good esports talk here for this. Is
Yeah.
why certain things are not in certain game modes.
Breakers, Kryptonite is a Lancer, chainsaw.
Yeah,
That's it.
but you can still kill people through walls, so that's why I don't think it's in there, because it can break the setup pretty easily. Like example,
for sure.
Icebound, the trading
hill.
post, the hill, and the trading post. You can kill them through the covers.
Yeah, it's
Which
insane.
before you would have needed a drop shot to kill somebody on the hill, or get them out, try to push them or flourish them out of the, trading post. And that's kind of crazy. My biggest thing with the esport now is the map variety. We've gotten 2 new maps in 7 months of a game, and they're honestly garbage for escalation.
Well, that's not just esports. That's for the whole game in itself.
Well,
We're talking content here.
Pahanu, aka Panini, is what we call it, is not a very good map for
Anything without an objective.
basically.
Yeah.
It's a decent map for King of the Hill. I like how big it is for the rotations that it is. It gives people a chance to come back and stuff like that. All Father's Arena, I hate. It changes too much. If I could choose a specific setup for that map itself to play on ranked, that map would be 10 times better. But the fact that it changes so much is the reason why it's so terrible, because you can't get used to the map itself, which is good, but
Sosa disagrees. He likes Panini for Gridiron.
for Gridiron, it's a good map.
I had
Gridiron
fun.
has an objective.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had fun playing that map with Gridiron. I mean, it's huge. The map is huge. It's a little too big for 5v5.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Me and Sosa, we were doing a no run, no bounce challenge. You can only roll. So when you get out of spawn, you can't run. You can't bounce, wall bounce, or anything. We agreed on rolling. So we played All Fathers. I came out the gate, got a 10 kill streak just walking. But then we got on, and that's not that bad. But then we got on Pahanu, and it took me like 50 seconds to get from the spawn to the hill. And it's like, it's ridiculous. It's a large map. You got water. When you get in the middle, people running, you can barely see them.
Head down and in there.
You got these bushes where people can hide in. It's just a big map. And I like to go back to an old developer stream from like March or something, and the guy asked the question, does your maps inspire Lancer gameplay? And their answer was no, it inspires a variety of gameplays. Well, when you got these big, huge maps with open lanes, and it's like
That's all you're gonna use.
here's all
is
you're gonna
Lancer.
use. You're gonna Lancer.
Yeah, wide open, like it's huge.
His perfect example was on Foundation. They were doing their developer stream, and the guy was on top tables lancering to open on the hill. And he said, if you didn't want to inspire Lancer gameplay, there would be a wall there.
Mhm.
You go there because people get up there and you put all this. I've done it. You put all this insane amounts of damage because people are going to spawn on two places: the shot grenades or the crane, near the crane and the trees. And they're going to go down middle. They're going to come from the cave or they're going down middle. You up there, all you got to do is watch your flank on left and right. If you know the spawns, you'll know where they're spawning at, because especially on King of the Hill, because of spawn manipulation.
Oh my
There's
God.
a good thing there is Ty puts it in there. It says it feels like they don't care about maps in general. They won't give us fun old maps, only trash Gears 4 maps. Why? They said that they were bringing back Gridlock, but now Node Zero is gone. What's his name? Rod Ferguson is gone. You know, it's all just
They said it takes
out of
6
whack.
months to make a new map or to even redux an old map, which is kind of
a lie.
that
in
doesn't
my
make
opinion.
any
It doesn't
sense.
sit right.
Like the
That
math,
this goes into content too. Like with them releasing the Carmines just recently this past week. Like when you think about it, oh yeah, well now they don't have the abilities and stuff like in Horde and everything like that, so they don't have all that special type of stuff, so they can just add in characters now. Well, they're still drip feeding the stuff. They didn't give us Clayton Carmine until Operation 3. They gave us Lizzie last time.
still no Dom.
No.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Not only Dom. Think about Gears 1 Marcus. They released Baird and Cole. What about Gears 1 Marcus?
No, they don't have Classic Cole yet. But they did do. They
Yeah,
gave
he is the older.
in Operation 2. They gave Baird a lot of skins. They gave him winter armor. They gave him desert armor. They gave him gilded. They gave him
Classic.
classic. What was it?
Labco was this.
Yeah,
was this
DB
operate.
Industries. He still gets. He has more skins in the game. He almost has as many skins as Kate, and that's surprising. I know
Since Kate's
people
the
love
main
Baird,
character.
but when you think about it, we got to have variety in our content. You can't just give people shove everything into Baird or shove everything into Cole. I want a classic Marcus as bad as the next person. But at the same time, I want the old Swarm character skins from Gears 4, especially the Swarm Hunter from Gears 4.
Well, to be honest, having characters is all preference, personal opinion.
Yeah.
Some people like I don't really like playing as Carmine. I like playing as Dom and Sniper. Those are my mains. You know, if they would bring anybody back from the COG, it'd be Valera. I doubt that's happening though, because she was such a low popular type of character. but it's all preference. But it's the releasing of characters. Like there's like every few months you get a few characters.
Yeah.
You know, or every week you get not a new character, but a character variant. Like how many character variants you gonna want? And you can only use one of those characters.
There's way too many
in
winter
comp.
armors. Way too many winter armor variants. They just recently started doing winter armor variants for the freaking swarm.
Yeah.
Why do the swarm need winter armor? Seriously, like
To fight in the winter? I don't know.
when you were playing in the campaign, did one of them have any type of winter armor at all? Really?
No.
I know
why the swarm need a coat.
exactly. I mean, do they need a coat? They're like
Their hide
frogs.
is like 17 feet long. Why? They don't need
Exactly. Like
anything.
it's stupid why they
The
need
swarm
that.
need a coat too, man. They get cold.
Hashtag
man.
swarm
They
needs
live
coats.
they live
Swarm lives
underground
matter.
already. Like give them a coat. Shit.
The thing that is the thing is though, they're drip feeding a lot of the content. And you know, we got the Locust Drone and we got from Rise of Rom Comics the Germed, which is good, but now
They've done better.
we're getting, you know, the Carmines, and now we can get more characters now that they
As far
don't
as
need the
content,
special
they've
abilities.
got better. When the game first came out,
Slowly.
oh my
It was awful.
goodness.
They
When the
slowly
game
got
first
better
came
with
out,
content.
you
But
got a character
what do
in
you
2
think
months.
about the operations? Do you think 3 months is entirely too long, or do you think they need to shorten it to 2 months?
So here's the thing: they're trying to go for people. You freaking got the tour done in 26 hours.
2 days.
2 days. This dude
You know,
got a
2
tour
days.
done in 2 days.
2 days, baby. A lot of horde.
And for the person that grind like me and Tato, we can get it done like 2 to 4 weeks, really, depending on if I focus the
About
objectives
2
or
weeks.
not.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe it should be that long. I mean,
But
but
you
like
also
you
got
said,
those people who don't play.
Yep.
They don't have time to play, and I understand that people got responsibilities, jobs, family, but it's like so they're giving them some leeway to grind on their characters, some time, but 3 months, I don't know. You think about the tour, which is what 264 stars.
326.
Yeah, a little more.
320 well, that's a lot of stars. And you got to think, if you don't buy the boost, you're only getting those instead of those double.
You're not getting
stars, you're only
6. You're getting 3 stars.
exactly.
Mhm.
Some objectives.
Quick
people don't play
little
horde.
shout out to Starspawn in the chat real quick. Thank you for tuning in. Feel free to tune into anything on the podcast. You missed the weapon tuning talk. We're talking esports
We-
and content now.
We never talked
think
about the movement.
Ty,
That's
there's a
what I was
couple
about to
other
say.
topics that were mentioned in the chat up top. I think it was Ty was it Ty or Sosa? I can't really remember. Someone mentioned about how do we feel about taking the execution and guardian out of ranked play.
That's horrible.
So
Execution
Ty
is
had a great
horrible.
point on that. It was they're trying to kill the, you know, there's people like Starspawn here that love Guardian and play Guardian. That's their main game mode. You know, you got Landon that plays Guardian really religiously, but he goes back to Gears 4 now to play Guardian ranked. There's people that want these game modes in there, and they're in my opinion, I feel like they took it out to force Gridiron down people's throats.
That's true, but
there it is.
the
yeah,
thing with
Sosa.
game modes is, again, personal preference. Like, I can go on why I like execution and don't really like Guardian, but there's people that go on why they don't like execution and love Guardian.
Right.
The thing is, though, one thing that I read in a developer stream that somebody said, if somebody wants to play a certain game mode, you can only play ranked. Like, at a time, you had TDM, Dodgeball, and King of the Hill all wrapped in one in a quick play. But what if they only wanted to play King of the Hill because that's all they like? It's only ranked. It's like, and then that goes back to the ranking system, which we can get into a whole episode on that. Like, if the ranking system worked, you would get these people that similar skill paired up together. Because I hate when I play a game playing against high-skilled, higher-tiered people, and then I got this low-skill guy barely hanging on with freaking 3 eliminations. Like, you go 7 rounds, how you only got 2 points. I don't type of people. and I'm freaking Onyx Diamond type up there type person, you know, and you got to go back. What if they want to play just King of the Hill because that's all they want to play because that's all they like? You can go jump into a quick play, and you get filled with bots, and then
Aim bots. Aim
that
bots.
don't miss, or it's just like they gotta fix the ranking system. But if there's certain game modes people only want to play, there's some of them that they can only play ranked, and it's just a lot of issues that I feel the biggest thing came down is that they rushed the game.
Yeah.
And it might
for sure.
and it might not be too good that they're working on 3 games too at the same time.
Yeah, with Gears Pop,
Tactics, and
Gears 5.
I know we got a couple people mentioning some stuff in the chat here. Let's see where we're going to start. Sosa says he's missing execution. Cac said that Guardian's a perfect casual sweaty mix for me. Guardian was just Starspawn says Guardian was just a better mode to stream, still focused on killing leader, but the games aren't too long, which I could agree to. And even though I wasn't a big fan of Guardian, I mean, you could still pull some clutch moments. You know, you get those times where it's 1v5, and it's definitely a good sweaty mix.
I do agree with Starspawn. It is a better game mode to.
I clutched the Guardian match with a Marska and a boom shot.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely added some of those aspects to Gridiron because you remember I clutched that 1v4 on Gridiron, but it's not the same.
Yeah,
Ranked dodgeball.
Ranked
I know
that would have
doesn't
been
like
ranked dodgeball would have been my most played mode. I was
I
diamond
love
in that
dodgeball.
in Gears 4. We got Sosa saying free for all was overhyped, which I agree with completely.
Yes.
You have people like, I hate to say this, but I'm going to call it a name, because a lot of people are getting irritated with him and his content and how he keeps on defending the coalition with Shadows. Sash Shadows really overhyped free-for-all. He said that he would never play another game mode. He would never play with another, team-based game or anything like that. But when it came to it, he's playing TDM now. He's playing, King of the Hill because it's not ranked. Now, if it was ranked, I feel like it would have a little bit more incentive to play it. But since it's still a quick play, I don't think that it's a reason to have it in the game. And another issue with
chime in with who said it? Kakaraya said it. Like the free for all is cool, but why do they still have down but not out on it? Like
I was just about to mention
we
that.
used the free for all for our last Gear Standing event, and it's just like why you still got this down but not out? That's the reason why we use execution, because it doesn't matter which one we're going to use. So we use the execution mode, but it doesn't matter if they had the free for all without that down but not out, it would be so much better.
Like Judgment.
Yep,
It worked
I was
in
just about to
Judgment.
say, jumping back to
I hate
Judgment.
comparing Gears 5 to Judgment because there's a terrible comparison between Judgment and any other Gears game, but you have to compare it to Judgment because it's the only game that had free-for-all, in it. But
No, they
at least it
definitely
had
took
good
the
maps for
dominant out.
free-for-all, like Library. I mean, you had so much variety for it.
Drip content, 3 free for all maps.
Yeah. Drip content, adding 2 really huge and really shitty 2v2 Nasher maps.
Hey, Annex is good. If you know how to not get shot, you can 7-2 somebody who's
Wingman.
a toxic.
Wingman is...
Sosa mentions Wingman, and let me tell you, that was my all-time favorite game mode. Sweaty.
Plus 2 KD, plus 3 win-loss.
Wingman would probably be the next favorite to 2v2 Nashers.
I heard rumors that was the next operation.
Yeah, if it does come back, then that's going to be... So you're going to have 2v2 Nashers, Escalation, not ranked, Gridiron, and Wingman tournaments. Though that's huge for the esports side of it, but when you think about it, Wingman can give so much more variety to it because you got 2, like tomorrow. Shout out to Pink Nasher again for the 2v2 Koth tournament. You got people like her that are hosting the 2v2 Koth tournaments. I
think that was today.
Tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, people like her hosting these tournaments that, people really enjoy that 2v2 feel, but when you bring it to Wingman, like when we played on Gears 3 or Gears 2 one time and you watch the pros play at Wingman pickups or something like that, it adds in that intense clutch factor to it because it's literally you and your wingman, and if you guys get taken out, you're out. Then you can watch other people clutch and stuff like that and get double kills or something on certain people, and it just you have to have that
It's
good teamwork with your
two and two.
wingman.
So when you play 2v2 Nashers, that's all you got. A Nasher on a small map. Now you got a teammate with your regular loadout, power weapons in 32 seconds in Gears 3. So you got those close Nasher only loadout weapon fights, but if you survive long enough, you could pick up power weapons to finish off the fight. So it's
Have variety.
variety.
It gives you multiple ways of play. And that's the biggest thing for me. When you said this, JB, about Gears 4 gave you so many different ways to play, and that's what made it a decent game. Now, it still had its flaws, but at least it gave you so many. You could hyper bounce if you want to. You could strafe if you want to. If you were a support player, the Lancer was in a good state to where you could support. It gave you so many different ways to play that it was just it played as a good game.
A play style for you, master it, and be good at the game. Mm-hmm. That's the difference between Gears 5. There's a meta to Gears 5, the way you have to play in order to get kills. For some people that like to do different stuff, you can't. It doesn't let you because it hinders your play style. And that was the biggest thing through all the Gears games up to this. And it kind of another reason why I step back is that it hinders my play style. There's certain times, the way I like to play, I would say I can do different type of ways. I can do different things. I understand that. But when you have to play a certain way, cut and dry, black and white, cookie cutter type of way, it's boring. You know, you want to be able to do different things and play of a different variety type of ways. And it's good for different people because some people can't do this or some people are not good at that. You think they brought when the game first came out, roadie strafing, nerfed to oblivion. Mm-hmm.
Then they sped up the movement, and this is a great way to go into the movement. They sped up the movement, and roadie strafing was back. Now it's in a good state. I like the movement in the way that it is. Now my only issue is the latency with the movement and how I'm forced to play on default alternate. Since I am a default player, I'm forced to play on default alternate, and I had to go back to single stick movement. Now there are talks in the esport world that they're going to ban single stick movement, but we can talk about that on another episode. But my biggest thing with the movement is that it's literally just. They really, on launch, it was perfect. I know people were like, well, it's too slow and stuff like that. It's not this and everything like that. Right there, Starspawn said it. The strafe could be a tiny bit faster. I honestly believe 100% that the movement is in a good state. The slide-in speed to the cover is perfect. And then you have the strafe, which is decently slow. And it could be a tiny bit faster, but it definitely is a good state.
Like, because when me and Soso, like, I played 5-6 matches without running, ever. I did not run.
He only dove.
I didn't bounce. The most I would do is slide into a cover by accident because I was actually trying to roll. And you notice when you get into a fight that it is a little slow. You try to do this movement and it's slow. But to be honest, you adjust to it. But I think the people probably think it's slow is because everything else is faster and you're doing all these fast animation types moves, wall bouncing, roadie strafing. Even if you're not wall bouncing, you're hitting corners and corner angling. And then you go back to walking and it's like a turtle. But when you actually sit there and do nothing but that,
got wrinkles.
You get used to it and it's not actually that slow. So it's slow compared to everything else. When you got all these other animations, everything you do that's a little faster, the walking's a little slow. But I don't think it's that slow because I was still able to get kills. I got a Quint a 10 kill streak. I got like 3-4 quads, triples all day, doubles all day, full red. So I don't think it needs to be adjusted that much. If it does, it might be sped up a little bit, but then you're just getting into pennies, really. That's how
Yeah, I think the movement is in a good place. I think that's the only thing that doesn't really need changed. I think people are enjoying the movement. It's just that the Nasher is just not in a good state for the balancing of the movement. The movement's good, but then the Nasher isn't good. And then you have the Lancer, which is good, but then the movement's in a good spot too. And then, everything in the game surrounds the Nasher, but it messes up a lot.
Single stick is for disabled people who only have one hand. It wasn't supposed to be used to get an advantage.
That is what it was for, because they also have that setting for people that play inverted, like my man Ty over here, who plays inverted, where you can swap your triggers when you aim in.
Interesting.
One thing Ty said, control scheme for strafing, but it sucks. Like you're forced to play a control scheme for a specific mechanic.
That's a good point.
Think
a
about
very good
that.
point.
Because if you want to do a hyper type, bounce type movement, you have to adjust your settings in your controller a certain way. If you want to rolly strafe, you have to adjust your controller another way. If you just want to strafe and do this, you have to adjust your controller a different way. And that was one thing with Gears 4. I had one universal controls setting, and I could hyper bounce, regular bounce, corner bounce, rolly strafe, or just strafe. Like all with just one control setting. And that's one thing I noticed, that like when I start to do these different things, I have to adjust to it a little bit, but I didn't have to in 4. It's like one time, like I have to turn my sensitivity down a little bit. It's just
Goes
we
back
want
to the
variety
whole
in
point.
gameplay.
Yeah, it goes back to the whole point that you're saying, that they're making you play a specific way. And it's like they took that out.
They limit you so much, and it's
Yeah.
it's not very well.
Controller and a mouse.
Yeah, those are called hybrid players. You hold the controller. So if you don't know what a hybrid player is when you hold the controller with one hand like this, and then you have a mouse in your other hand. So right now my phone is my mouse.
Get out of here.
People will play like that. They will 100% play like this, and they will bounce and move and strafe and aim with this and shoot and move and use the mouse for an
Get
advantage.
out of here. Is that really?
That is literally there. That
I
is
can vouch for
literally
that. My
what
brother
happens.
does that. He doesn't play Gears of War, but he's played PUBG or Call of Duty. Especially on PUBG, where he'll play controller regular when he's moving, but then when he wants to start shooting, aim down sight, he clicks into a mouse like instantly, and he gets those accurate, concise shots.
Well, I think that was all the points that we had for today. We had a good amount. It's about 11 o'clock, so we started for a good about 2 hours. Good 2-hour podcast.
For our first one, yeah.
Yeah,
Talk
for our
about
first one.
esports, I think we can touch a little bit into more about esports.
Yeah.
A little
do we
bit
go
more,
from
yeah.
there?
We didn't really talk much about
I
it.
was.
How about let's start it off with this. Do you think Gears 4 maps need to be in rotation?
No. If anything, no. I was considering maps. No. Reclaimed? No. Harbor? No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Foundation? No.
Maybe.
No.
That's the only thing.
Maybe.
No.
Yeah.
It's the reason that the reason I'm arguing with you on that is the literal fact that everybody loves Foundation. If they put that into rotations, you're never going to get another map on.
Foundation.
You're never going to get another map on that.
Let's play Foundation.
Exactly. You got irritated the other day. I don't want to hear it. When we played Foundation 4 times in a row on King of the Hill. 4 times. You said Foundation again. I know it's a good map. I disagree. I hate that map because we play it too damn much. You said, I know it's a good map, but come on. Why you got to keep on picking it? Exactly. That's the thing about that. Every team is going to pick Foundation as their thing unless there's a team that's going to ban it because they don't like it or something like that. It's too much of a map that everybody knows. That's why I don't think Gears 4 maps need to be in rotation, because those maps are literally
And I'll say this.
known already.
Gears 4 maps were intended for Gears 4 without the intention for Gears 5. It's the same reason why when they brought Gears 1, 2, or 3 maps into 4, they weren't compatible with the gameplay and the game style of Gears 4. The same thing. Gears 5, the Gears 4 maps are not compatible for them. They weren't made for them. Even though certain modes, like Reclaim Foundation, they were made for escalation. That was the biggest thing with 4 and 3 and all 2, and is that they brought maps that weren't made for this new game mode, which is escalation. You still have the different weapon tunings, movement tunings, all that. It's a different game. It's a completely different game, and the maps weren't made for it. And I don't think the maps are that bad in Gears 5. Of course, there's some that are bad. Some you just gotta learn how to play them, really.
Miku Plays says, "Who's doing the camera work?" Our main man over here, the best co-owner and the best
Give this man a
streamer
raise.
in Northeast
He's
Ohio.
the boss.
Mr. Larry
Give
Braz,
yourself a
Brazil
raise.
is doing the camera work over here, man. He said that we need a cameraman camera. There he is. There's
Okay,
the big man.
There's my mic. All right, guys. I'm just been back here tonight. I'm not even in form. I got my. Oh, I do got a gaming hat on. I got my 2K League, NBA 2K League.
Ah, look at Johnny over there.
So
Johnny
I
Hayson.
got Johnny. What's up,
Shout out to Johnny, the
He's
toxic
mad about
Tekken
this.
player over there.
yeah,
The
I saw
number one Tekken player in Ohio, man.
What was
Shout
he
out to
saying on
him.
Twitter last week.
All right,
Where
we
is-
out.
don't
where
like
he at?
2K.
I've been kicking his ass.
He do.
I play me some 2K.
Yeah, but I mean, for how it is, we have a whole studio here over here at our lounge in Northeast Ohio, Parma specifically. We have a whole studio here. We've got a museum currently being built, I believe.
I don't know if it's a whole museum. It's a pathway from the lounge to the studio that will have some memorable moments on the wall.
Yeah, okay.
We'll put it that
Memorable
way.
moments. That's
I didn't know how to describe it, but then we also have a 11,000 square foot. We have a 11,000 square foot esports lounge area with multiplayer areas with couches, 70-inch TVs. We host everything.
insane. Just to see from where they were first at to see this lounge now just blows my mind.
Oh, my mic is probably just too close. I'm sorry.
No, Akellz, you just loud.
I am loud, but
Cheap suits.
My other half is entered the chat room. It's Nerd Girl up in here.
Oh no!
that nerd. Everybody give Nerd Girl a follow and shout out to her. That's Kari, the other co-owner of the best Northeast Ohio spot. Hey man, that's a good thing. She's got to keep us in got to keep us in line, especially you.
Cameraman has the best mic.
That's
Hey,
facts.
mine's is gold plated.
This whole best mic thing, this idea that my mic sounds best, this is because Pagnu sits here, Mr. Double OP. He's our normal in-house producer that's back behind here. He had to make sure his mic sounded primo as hell, so that's why I'm sounding
That's
ultra crisp and clear over here. I keep on
He's
even
an
having to
expert
lean
on
back
that.
so it doesn't sound that good.
Phenomenological phenom feature.
Quick back into the topic that we were before we were done.
Esports.
Was
Esports.
esports.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
wanted to say one thing. Was a little skeptical.
Uh-oh.
So in Gears, I'm not gonna go all the way back past 3, but as far as 4, they never announced 2 events back to back and had them this far apart. I mean, this close apart. Like you had one in March and one in May. So what do you think of the minds of the developers by having these 2 events so close? Do you think there's going to be another event? Did they announce another event?
Summer quarter. That's it.
Yeah, they didn't
Oh, no, they
announce
did.
another major.
Since it was an online major, they said those 2v2 Astro battles are a part of the online major now. They're $15,000 winning prize.
Yeah, but that's a side tournament. We want
Yeah,
a
it's not a
5v5
main
It's
event.
still a part
major.
of the major, though.
2v2, yeah, but it's not the main event.
Exactly.
True.
So, what do you think the future of Gears esports is?
This is a hard question.
Yeah.
This is the hardest question of the night.
I've had this since they announced the 2 events back to back. When did they announce it? In February, January?
Yeah, February or January, I think it was.
giving us that look over there.
Starspawn says that Dana has said that they don't have much to do with the esports. It's PGL making the choices. Now, that's a big issue is because they moved from MLG, which they had – MLG knows how to do stuff. They know how to do LANs. They know how to make tournaments and, events. PGL, they're kind of not really known. Not to hate on PGL, they're doing a good job for this first season. It's just for me, the future of Gears esports looks like it's going to be turning a lot to UMG.
Starspawn thinks that MLG dropped Gears first.
Probably did because it's a very, very niche following. And Optic Gaming they fell apart and they got out of Gears.
It's not a big esports. Gears 4 was having $2 million seasons, while League of Legends was having $2 million tournaments.
Yeah, that's a good thing to put into there. But this summer season is 1.4 million for the summer season.
Interesting.
Not bad.
Yeah, Cody, I do think MLG was just as bad as PGL with misreporting. They're just as bad. Now, let's move into you, Tato. Where do you think the Gears esports is moving into? Because I think it's going to move towards more of a UMG state. There's going to be a lot of side tournaments, and then there's going to be one big main tournament. Because it's like majors with fighting games. And Johnny could probably help me with this. You have a bunch of side tournaments for smaller games. And then you have a main tournament like EVO. You have Smash Bros. That obviously is going to make EVO, Tekken, and all this other big games, Mortal Kombat and everything, the big main games. But then you have side tournaments for Skullgirls, Marvel vs. Capcom, Infinite specifically.
I do have to interject. Smash was dropped from EVO.
EVO Online. Yeah. I'm saying for the LANs. Like the big major LANs.
We don't know. We don't even know that. We don't even know that's a thing anymore.
Yeah,
probably not. But
yeah, well, we know that, but we don't know if this Evo LAN is even a thing anymore. That goes down to like, is there going to be another E3?
Yeah, true.
You think about that. Think about that one.
That's a brain buster right there. No, I agree with you say on the UMG about having the side tournaments in one big main tournament. Plus, we still have the community and everyone throwing tournaments together too.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone out there, Pink hosting the 2v2s. Was it DeVille was hosting tournaments? DeVile.
Yeah.
There's a tournament in every day.
Yeah, Hive Clash. We got the
Rise Gaming is hosting a free-for-all tournament. I will say free-for-all did help Free-for-all did help the comp scene a little bit with free-for-all tournaments and stuff for solo players to play, but in the reality, this game was made to be played with teammates.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it is a team-based game. Like it's tough to do like 1v1s and stuff like that. But
I'm gonna bring up one question: what if they made it 4v4 like Gears 1?
That completely throws everything off on the game, and it opens up a whole new meta to the world.
It does. That's one less person doing damage on the map. But the maps are huge now.
Mm-hmm.
So
they were made for 5v5s.
Yeah.
Take for example Training Grounds. That map was made for 5v5. You got a top tower, lower tower, then you've got Overlook, and then you have the middle. You send 2 people to Overlook, 2 people to the top tower, lower tower, 1 person through the middle. That map was made to have all of those lanes cut between each person.
Exhibit 4v4. Think about that map.
Maybe.
That it is literally 1 person on hop over, 1 person in each hallway, and then 1 up top.
Exactly.
But that's literally the only map you could potentially do a 4v4 on.
That's true.
Everything else is larger. This is bringing back to the point that you guys said, or Akellz said earlier. You bring those maps from Gears 1, 2, and 3 and put them in 4, and it throws off the gameplay because those maps aren't made, right, for Gears 4. But now you take out that 1 player, these maps, the meta, everything, it throws everything off.
The only reason I brought that up is because in Gears 4, I actually think Gears 4 would have thrived better 4v4 instead of 5v5.
I could agree with that.
Because the Lancer wasn't that strong, the maps weren't that large, and you had a better shotgun.
What Starspawn mentions in the chat, and at some point Microsoft would need to step in and help with the Gears esport. Isn't that what they were doing with the
Microsoft store
tournament,
events.
Microsoft
yeah.
store
The
events?
Mixer Showdown.
Well, they were
The Mixer,
hosting
yeah,
them
it's Mixer that would have to
themselves.
step in for it, right?
But I think what he's trying to say is that Microsoft is probably going to have to step in with PGL and try to help them out there.
And then
'Cause-
Kak
'cause-
mentioned also, he said, this is the first game that I've seen where the community is literally starting to make more and better tourneys.
There's people that literally save up or take like I hate saying it, but Pink again, who has like a $60 prize pool. There's people that are putting in small prize pools and getting like 30 to 40 people signing up, because they know that it's going to get run better or something like that. Like with our Hive Clash went off without a hitch. That app is perfect. Shout out to Mission Control GG for that tournament, because Hive Clash was perfect. It's a 1v1 execution tournament, and it constantly was texting you, hey, you have a match in 15 minutes. Hey, you have a match tomorrow. Hey, you have a match that. And it works so perfectly. And it's just, there's no reason not to, help with it. It's just, it's really, really going forward in a wrong direction, I believe. Because now we need, this is towards PGL, not Mission Control. Now what we need is things like Mission Control that are willing to host tournaments, that know what they're doing and can get back to the communities faster. Because
wait, I'm sorry. You may have that a little bit confused. So Mission Control is the platform, the application. So Mission Control in this scenario is more like a Smash GG. Or a challenge, or what's the other one that's big?
I don't know about Smash G, challenge.
I'm thinking there's another one. It's on the top of my head, but it's more of the platform. So there's pretty much any organization that's interested in hosting things online and bringing together a more succinct way to do events, meaning communications, reporting, scheduling. All that stuff. Mission Control does that in-house. Like, not, I can't say in-house, but all in one stop. That's what the app allows us to do.
But their support team is phenomenal. That's what I'm saying is like their support.
Okay, so that's what I'm going to get into. So their support team is actually the org that you join. So that's still just us. That's One Life to Play. So like you'll get communications through the app. That's whoever puts on the I guess the circuit. Every now and then you'll probably get an email, but this is something that happens outside the app. You may get an email from Mission Control admin and let you know like the circuit has particularly kicked off, and then give you the detailed rules if it's outside of what an organization pointed you to as well. But these are a lot of orgs, and I say that not just for One Life to Play, but there are a lot of universities, a lot of community centers across the nation who have signed up for Mission Control. So if you actually got the app, you won't find just One Life to Play. You happen to find us first because we're the number one and we're number one. Yeah. Like they say. But you'll see us show up first. But there are tens of dozens. Should I just say dozens? There are dozens. Yeah, there are dozens. There's not like hundreds of orgs right now signed up, but this is the way things are kind of going in terms of esports, especially on the collegiate level. So you'll find a lot of different orgs, and if it's not One Life to Play, we hope you do join One Life to Play. We have a lot of games that we're offering, FGC games. We're putting some shooter games in there. We got Mario Kart, things like that in there too. But if you don't join One Life to Play, there's tons of other orgs in there too. You can just, if they have no restrictions on where your location is, join other orgs. I'm in a couple myself. I play Madden every Monday.
That's awesome.
I'm in the playoffs, so it's pretty fun.
We have
it's
Sosa
good.
asking to get a 1v1 Koth or a 2v2 Koth in Mission Control.
UMG rules?
UMG
rules.
rules. So
Oh,
it would
man.
be just loadout.
Let's get through this second session of Hive Clash. So Hive Clash 2 is currently open for sign up in Mission Control. I put the link in the chat. Let's get that one going, and then maybe the next one we'll take a pause on Hive Clash and introduce something with some King in the Hill.
Yeah.
Yep,
I
Cody.
think that'd
Yep.
be pretty good.
So with that being said, we are the ones that are making everything run smooth, and we make everything go like that.
So I know Starspawn and Ty are having a little conversation within the chat in regards to Microsoft and Ty suggested that Microsoft just like, well, if it's not doing so well, drop it. But Starspawn's like they invested too much money in the Gears already at this point, and I mean those are the two big
Tricky
staples.
business aspect.
Yeah,
know-
that's like a whole business aspect going into it, but it's a huge staple in my opinion. You know, when I think Xbox, the two big staples that I think are Gears and Halo. Like those are just the biggest staples that are there. And if they were to drop it, I mean that's.
I say if Coalition can't step up, yeah, drop it because you still got Halo.
Yeah, I mean,
say yeah.
You do have Halo.
Halo's been around for 3 generations of the Xbox, about to be 4 now. It's a console seller.
Yeah, they need to step up. Coalition definitely
They
needs
do.
to step up.
It's the reason why we made this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of us. I've been playing since day one. My brother, not Miss Double OP, but he bought an Xbox 360. I remember the day he came in. He bought it day one. He was like, guess what game I got? I just guessed. Gears of War? That's what he had. You know, you had like Lost Planet was being advertised and all that stuff. And so I've been playing since day one. And like, this is my favorite video game franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And all this is just criticism. We wanted to succeed because I'm older now. All the times as a child, my teenage years playing this game. Now I'm older. I want to play this game, make a living off it, or make something on the side, something, whatever. It just play the game in general. Like the love. This is my number one franchise. And it's just like seeing it in this state.
JB tearing up. Oh,
It's very
don't tear up, JB.
disappointing.
Hey, I got a napkin for
Hey,
you. Hold on.
so I don't still currently play like Gears like you guys do. But I will say like Gears was the game that forced me to go from a tube TV to HD TV. I bought my first 32-inch ILO TV from Best Buy because Gears of War, the text was just too small for me to read on that tube TV. I had a Panasonic TV VCR combo. It was shitty. But I do want to comment really quick before I get off the cam here. Starspawn, take it from someone who has been who received a paycheck from them. They don't have that deeper pockets like you think. The pockets are pretty deep, not in the Xbox world. But also they mind very much about funding Gears. I know that specifically when I had to go and put little pop-up stands everywhere and then host little GameStop tournaments everywhere about Gears. And yeah, they care very, very much about funding Gears. And I don't think that they want to continue doing it if no one likes it. I think that's what it comes down to. But they can't control whether or not people like it because that's the coalition. They're the developers. Like you've got to delineate yourself from the people who try to do the business and fund the creators to make the things that we love and enjoy to do, versus those who just make it and have no control over whether we get the money or not to continue doing this. And I don't know how much longer Gears can continue doing what they're doing without listening to things. But all right, that's just me. I'll let you guys get back to it.
Well, I think
words.
that's a good place to end it on that for that, because we've covered all our bullet points for tonight, and we hope that this podcast can reach to TC and that they can listen to us and hopefully take some criticism off of it. There's people out there that obviously take it a little too far. We're trying to give you some constructive criticism because we care about the game. We're competitive players. We're a part of an organization that really wants to see this thrive, obviously, because they've invested in us. They've given us jerseys. They've invested in a team for your game. And we just hope that you can take this with a grain of salt and just use it as constructive criticism.
No, don't take it. Don't take it with a grain of salt. No,
Probably the wrong way to describe
That's what it
it.
is. This goes to all aspects of anything. If you're just bringing up a problem without a solution, it's just a problem. Hey, your game sucks. Why? What's your examples of why you're having bad experience with the game? If you're having a bad experience with the game, it's like, oh, this game sucks. Okay, why? What's happened? What do you not like about it? Give examples of what happened. And that's what we did. And it's like I said, there's people that'll just complain, and move on to the next game.
Yeah.
We could have did that,
It-
but we're
it's-
diehard Gears fans.
Yeah,
And
we
we're
love
and
the
we're
game
diehard. We're
so
trying
much.
to fix this.
Yeah,
we're trying to
it's-
diehardedly fix the game.
It's not like we're sitting here trying to trash talk it or anything. I say it's just we love the game so much and care about it that we want to see it get fixed. We want to help with the constructive criticism. We want to give our opinion, and it's not like like JB. I literally came right from Gears 1 too. My older brother bought that Xbox 360 and came in with Gears 1, and I was young, but I fell in love. All-time favorite game, and I love the game so much I want to see it get fixed. And that's literally why we're doing the podcasts, is we want to involve not only us and our opinions, but the community's opinions as well. Everyone that joins us in loving the game, that want to see it get fixed, want to see the improvements, and take the next steps into the right direction.
Yep. I don't have an immaculate story of how I got into Gears. I grew up playing Mortal Kombat and playing gory
It's okay,
games
we love
and
you
everything.
anyways.
I'm a former retired FGC player for Mortal Kombat, and I joined Gears Esports because that was my favorite shooter to play next to Mortal Kombat.
So I know CAC had a question. When is this going down again? Do we have a set
Bi-weekly.
schedule?
So it's going to be every 2 weeks on a Saturday at hopefully 9 o'clock when somebody can give me their address at a time.
Did you personally DM me?
Yes.
No, you didn't.
Oh my
I saw it in the
Lord.
group chat.
All right. Well, we'll shoot for 9 o'clock on the dot next time.
Okay, that sounds good.
Try and get here at
9
8
p.m.
and then get it live at 9. So it's bi-weekly. So next week we'll be off, for Saturdays. Got to give my team days off. They can't get burnt out. I don't want them to constantly do stuff. He's got a cat and a girl to get cared of.
Not just that. I got work, house improvements. Everyone has a life.
I don't know.
Hey, I'm still doing 10-hour shifts.
It got
I don't
JP
know.
over here
Can
busting
Kakarot
his
has
ass.
one last question for you, Larry. Cody wants to know if he wants to join in on the podcast. That's one of our players.
One of our players, yeah.
Yeah, we should hopefully be making some announcements about opening sometime in the next coming week here. So it all kind of pivots on that. So chances are positive, sure, but give me a bit. I got some other things I need to line up for you in Sosa too. So I'll be talking with you guys.
Don't forget Juice.
Yeah, all three of you guys.
Yes.
I have some things lined up for you, so I need to talk to you guys. Probably mid next week. I got a couple of projects I'll knock out, and then I will get to you.
All right, and with
Perfect.
that, I feel like that's good.
Hang in there.
Yeah, thanks for everyone joining us tonight. We appreciate everyone coming in, giving some feedback, starting some conversations, getting to know us and why we're doing the podcast.
Tyler, you already talked to Larry. You already are on good terms with him. He knows you. You're all good. All right. Well, thank you for everybody for tuning in and listening. This has been One Life to Play Gears Esports.
Hey.
I am Akellz.
I'm Tato Aim.
And I'm JB Be Good. We might not be done with Gears, but we done with the beer.
Hey.
So, game on. One life to play.
We are signing out.